I would die for this man, and 100% is someone I want to fight with me on the battlefield. I have the utmost respect for him and strive hard to make him proud. This comment, written by a junior enlisted mortarman about his section leader, illustrates the centrality of leadership as a multiplying and unifying element of combat power. It is the one element without which organizational trust is impossible to achieve. The fact that the U.S. military recognizes leadership as a key element of combat power explains much of the success we have enjoyed as a fighting force. But no organization is perfect, and there is always work to be done. The difficulty is in determining what practical steps to take that will build organizational trust to the degree it produces tangible effects on the battlefield. Over the course of a year-long process, during which hundreds of paratroopers in 2nd Brigade, 82nd Airborne Division were surveyed, 4 elements presented themselves as indispensable to organizational trust: communication, understanding, respect, and expertise. When these are woven into the culture of an organization, they produce the kind of trust necessary for aggressive, adaptable, and lethal action on the battlefield. Enter the Falcon Culture Engagement Team, or FCET. The purpose of this small task force, created and employed by the brigade commander, is to understand social and leadership dynamics within the brigade, identify key areas of concern, and propose actionable solutions. The FCET has enabled the commander to identify and address concerns of particular importance, such as improving security for paratroopers living in the barracks. The FCET has been focused on identifying and learning from those non-commissioned officers who display exceptional ability to foster combat-ready trust within their formations. We want to know what the problems are, but we also want to know who is already part of the solution, what they are doing right, and how we can amplify their influence across the brigade. Since May of 2021, we have done this by asking paratroopers, who is an NCO you are proud to work with, and why? The answers, typically given by junior enlisted paratroopers, vary in details, but always center on their trust for the NCO. Regardless of whether the NCO referred to is a brand new team leader or a command sergeant major, the reasons they give inevitably consist of 2 or more of the 4 elements of organizational trust: communication, understanding, respect, and expertise.
The obvious things that make us different are the maroon beret, when we're in our dress uniform, our jump boots, But the thing that really makes us different, once you're in the 82nd and you've lived this life, our culture of constant evaluations, constant testing, constantly going to the field and having deliberate OCs to watch over and give you feedback. Having no place to hide any type of weakness in leadership abilities or technical or tactical capabilities, you become a more closely bound team, and you're gonna have friends, from here, brothers that you make here in the 82nd, that are you're never gonna lose. I have more friends from my time in my 4 years in 1505 than I have in the rest of the 14 years that I've been in the Army. My leadership philosophy sounds cliche, but you could really say people first. I encourage people to come in and talk to me, and when they do that, I want to prove to them that I mean what I say, and I make it a point to do that, stick to my word, and listen to them for as long as they have to. I don't care if it's an E2 coming in to complain about his platoon sergeant because he doesn't understand the reasoning behind the decisions that are being made, and it's causing him to have to wake up a little bit earlier, whatever the case is. I give him the context and try to explain to him what's happening in the mind of a leader that he just doesn't have. He doesn't have the experience to understand. So when we say people first, I mean, to me that's what it means. You can talk about it all you want to, but you have to be able to prove that you really do put people first, and that's one of the easiest ways to do it.
So the airborne community in the 82nd is extremely important for the sole fact that 82nd is on the immediate response force, and because of that, we have to be able to go anywhere within 18 hours or less. That's anywhere in the world. We're going to jump into whatever country it is and be able to form up in LGOPs and be able to carry on our mission no matter what the circumstances are. Leading paratroopers is insanely gratifying, and I'm able to take what I see from the good from various different personnel and combine it all together and hopefully create a better area and a better learning experience for the paratroopers I'm above. And that way they can grow off of that and they can understand more, hopefully be more successful than I ever am.
My troops were definitely the motivating factor. Like, you definitely don't want to let them down. And just the NCO support channel I had around me, the other NCOs who were also new and learning with me, as well as the more seasoned, higher ranking platoon sergeants. Everyone I've been in contact here with the 82nd just has like a plethora of knowledge, and they are so willing to pass that on to you. You're never far from the answer. Leaders in the 82nd, NCOs, are required to have an immense amount of knowledge because it comes down to the safety of your paratroopers. And a lot of that goes into being a jump master. It's why battalion commanders or sergeant majors push for NCOs to become jump masters, and it's because they need to have that knowledge to pass on to their junior paratroopers to keep them safe. And on top of that, not just having the answers of if your chute is rigged right, if something feels good while you're sitting in the plane, or if something feels bad, like having those answers, but being able to lead them out the door, to jump out the plane with them, to be able to gather everyone together on the drop zone and continue on your follow-on mission. It's definitely a unique part of being a leader in the 82nd.
The amount of trust put into like the subordinates, and being able to, we call it LGOPs. So when you're on the drop zone, you are entrusted, like the highest ranking person there on the drop zone is entrusted to lead and accomplish the mission that you were set forth prior to the jump. And I think that resonates throughout all of our daily activities. We're just looking for leaders to take control at any points of friction we have, and those leaders are accomplishing every task that we have at all levels. So I would say the trust part that we have in our subordinate leaders is second to none. So being a jump master is a privilege. It's not just, and it's a duty, right? You are entrusted then with the life of a paratrooper at any rank or any responsibility, from a private all the way up to a lieutenant colonel, even a general, as we've seen before in some of our pictures. Captains are JMPIing Major General Laniv. And that aspect and having the trust to be in charge of someone's life in a non-combat scenario is, I would say, it's an immense amount of pressure that we ask from our sergeants who are jump masters to our highest ranking people that are jump masters. And when you look at being a jump master, it is a prerequisite for having any kind of command position here. So I would say like the best part is that you are looked at as that subject matter expert constantly, not only in your craft and your MOS, but also in jump master duties. People are asking you, hey, is this okay? Hey, is this safe? And giving them that all okay is, I would say, is really rewarding.